Welcome to Whiskey Edition. My name is Rob, and tonight I'm already a little bit into it because I had a little bit of a tasting while I went through the Fall Haul 2023, which was, I don't know if that video is before or after this one, or it's on the side channel. I think it's both on the side channel of the Whiskey Edition, because that's all I seem to be doing lately is adding to the pile. So some guy said, oh, Edition is in ADDI. No, Edition is in newspaper. Oh, that's a good name. So I went and took it, and so now I got both to deal with. But tonight we're going to look at 3 Hawaiian whiskeys of various forms. And I've been accumulating these over a couple of years. The newest one from Maui is this one. I'll go through each one in a minute. And yeah, I thought we'd check them out. I'm not going to do a blind. I'm going to just do them side by side. I'm going to pour them, let them open up. And when I'm tasting each one and kind of giving my opinion of them, I'm going to be wearing the swag. Is it really swag if you have to buy it? I don't think it's swag at that point, but that'll be a clue as to which one I'm tasting. So the first is from 12th Hawaiian Distilleries. It's on the Big Island of Hawaii, and the reason it's called 12th Hawaii is because they were the 12th distiller to get a license to distill spirits in Hawaii. So I'm not sure where the others land, if they land in that at all, or if they're 1 through 11 or 2 and 5 or whatever, but they thought the name was good, so that stuck. And what they'd use is, I will read the back of each one, or the side, or whatever, because this one was a couple years ago, so I don't remember exactly what was going on. Our spirits are crafted, bottled, and labeled by hand in small batches on the Big Island. Now I don't remember if I did a video of the distillery tour that I took. This room that you've seen kind of 2 sides of, where I'm over at the other side at the table, and this are, 15, 20 feet apart. That's about how big the distillery is. It's in a business park. It's not very big at all. So actually, the size is this is kind of an appropriate size of how big the distilleries are. This was the smallest distillery. Locally sourced real Hawaiian honey, a premium ingredient. Each batch offers a unique taste and experience. Distilling to us isn't just a process, it's a skill, art, and passion. Every drop we make is produced right there on the Big Island, bringing out the best Hawaii has to offer by inviting everyone to take a taste of life one sip at a time. Now, I do believe they just use honey, so that is why it's Distiller's Reserve, and it's not whiskey or bourbon. So we'll open this up. I haven't even opened it yet. I've been waiting for this. That is a good cork. Right in here. This box that I've got everything sitting on is my first wedding album. Now the Kupu is from Maui Brewing, and they have a small distillery, bigger than 12th Island Distilleries, but 12th Hawaii Distillery. It is inside the brewery. It's inside the brew house. And so I took a tour just a few days ago of there, and it was 99.9% brewery tour, so I learned a lot about brewing beer and all this. And oh, here's the distillery, and in this room, and it's like, that's what I came here for. Anyway, it was still a fine tour. One thing I did learn though, and I think they use the same process for the water, they would, that they proof it down, proof the cask strength down to, is they use the Maui municipal water, and they strip out all the chemicals to pure water, and then they add back in chemicals. Let's not say chemicals. They add back in minerals to the, I don't know, I guess if let's say you know what Rocky Mountain Spring Water's mineral content is, they can add that back in to get that. And I think that's probably what they do for their water that they use when they proof down. But blended and bottled by Kupu Spirits in Kihei, Maui, Hawaii, USA. And let's see, do they have distilled from a blend of corn, rye, and malted barley, then aged in new charred American oak barrels. An exceptional expression of caramel and vanilla, building to peppery spice notes with a hint of newtiness. Smooth enough to be enjoyed, neat, or on the rocks, island distilled. So they got all the words in there to make it say that it's on. One thing that I don't believe and they don't have the mash bill in here, is corn. I don't believe they grow corn on Hawaii. Probably not even rye or barley. So I believe that is all imported from the States, and they have special, very specific place that they import that from. So let's see. Corn pop. This is the one I can't pronounce. I'll just be right straight up front. The Haliimaile, Haliimaile, Sorry, it'll be here and you can sound it out. I think you're supposed to say every letter, and I just screwed it up. Makau, Hawaii. It's a blended whiskey, the Paniolo, which I believe is a Hawaiian cowboy. The back sticker says, in the late 18th century, King Kamehameha was first gifted cattle by Captain George Vancouver of the British Royal Navy. Mexican vaqueros were brought to the Hawaiian Islands to control the cattle and break the pupule wild horses. These vaqueros embraced the Hawaiian tradition and became known as Paniolios. In the spirit of Hawaiian cowboy, Paniolio blended whiskey brings mainland history and island tradition together once again. So, I went on this distillery tour also, and what they do is they primarily make PAU vodka, and they've got a process of doing it. And one of these days, I've got it all on. I don't have it on tape. I have it in pictures. They make the mash, and they transfer that to a kettle to boil off the alcohol to make the new make, and then they put it in a glass still, not a copper or a stainless steel still, because they bought these glass stills from a guy who invented them, and I think he's in Colorado Springs. Anyway, and then they distill that down. And so what they do for this, however, I believe is in the step between, and there were a lot of people, so it's hard to not only hear but get a question in, between the first distillation where they bring off the alcohol and then the distillation where they're running it through the kind of the glass column still where it purifies it many times, is they blend it, that 95% alcohol, I guess new make in a way, with the barreled whiskey from Heaven Hill. 3-year Heaven Hill, probably straight from the barrel, cast strength, blended with 90% new make, and then brought watered, I don't want to say watered down, but brought to the 40% 80 proof. So I don't know what the going in ratios are, and I did ask, and if she could tell me, she couldn't tell me. And the math wizard could probably do it, but it was the 95% new make, so very high alcohol content. Then the 3-year Heaven Hill, which they used to bring in barrels. I did ask. They used to bring them in barrels over from Heaven Hill, and it was slow because it's on a ship, I'm guessing. And some were rusted and they were breaking, and it just wasn't working out for them. And so now they bring it over in those white tubs after they take it out of the barrels. So they still are in 3 years barrels. They're not in those white things all the time, but if we've ever been on a big distillery tour, you've seen the white, it's probably got a name for it, but it's not really a keg. It's just a big white thing, container with steel around it. And then they do the mixing and blending it down to the 80 proof. So Oh, I forgot. The 95% new make is from pineapple juice. So that's kind of an important topic. So they take all the Charlie Brown pineapples, so the ones that aren't nice and perfect that everybody wants to bring back to the States, but are still good, and they take those, and those are very high sugar content pineapples. They take it to Maui Wine in Upcountry, which is not too far from them, and they smush it down and extract all of the pineapple juice out, and that is what they make the new make from. Aha, so that it's not just, that's where they get that. And again, they wanted to source everything on the island for theirs, not for the Kupu, but for theirs, they wanted to source it all from the island. The only thing they have are pineapples. So the vodka isn't potatoes, it's pineapple vodka. So, but you can't call that in a whiskey. Yeah, that's sharp. Ooh, have to take that off. I'll let that open up for a bit. I can take that. So there we go. It's a nice cap. Oh, pretty sharp. All right. Let those open up. Stand by. And I'm back. 12th Hawaii Swag Distillery. 12th Hawaii Distillery Swag. You can see my prodigious gut from all the, not exercising as I should be, but I think I will write these in as I go just because. So Distiller 12th Hawaii, or Hawaii, and Big Island, which is Hawaii whiskey. This is Distillers Reserve. I also have the Honey Shine. So it starts off as Honey Shine. He barrels it. He is the distiller guy. I forgot his name. He puts it in a oak barrel with Hawaiian Kiawai wood. So it's got some wood from Hawaii in it, in an oak barrel. But you can't call it a bourbon, and you can't even call it a whiskey because it has absolutely no corn in it. I think that's the deal. So this one's going to be very interesting. Age, a couple weeks, maybe. 43%, 87 proof. 87 proof. Batch 2. Spirits distilled 4 times from Hawaiian honey. So there we have it. Let's get into the nose. I faked Mark at Northwest Bourbon out because I sent him a sample and it wasn't. He thought it was this because he tasted honey and it was not this, so. I don't get the honey on the nose. Get a little bit of alcohol, but nothing special. Now when you're at the distillery, you get the honey because it's everywhere. He uses only fresh honey from somewhere on the island. Going for a sip. It's a little spicy. It's not old. And the honey hits on the back. The honey hits way late. Honey hits late. So that's pretty interesting. And I served it neat. So that is interesting. It's all right. A little bit of a sipper. You could have this without any problems. Just kind of sitting around watching the waves roll in. .87 proof, not real high proof. It's all right. Again, I don't believe this is 12th Hawaii Distiller. I don't believe it's sold in the States. Let me rephrase that. On the mainland, I believe it is. I don't even know if it's sold. I didn't see it in Maui. I only saw it on the Big Island. Hopefully he's still there because he was a very nice guy. And if he's not there, I guess I better cherish this bottle. That's the only one I've got other than this one and a coffee one. So good. Yeah, that's okay. Not overpowering, not off-putting, not super ethanol, so it's kind of smooth. So that was, yeah, I'd forgotten about that because I did taste it while I was there. So that's good. So the next one, the Kupu, and that means something in Hawaiian. No idea what. From Maui Brewing. Now, I did do this one for the video I did with the beer companies that distill. And I think this is one of the only ones that actually has the distillery in the brewery. Coors, Bardstown, Pabst, local to somebody else but not Pabst, Twisted Tea, who the F knows. And so, oh, and Dogfish Head. I'm not sure where they had theirs made, but theirs was weird too. So this is really the only one that is actually made by a brewery in a distillery in a brewery. So let's time out. I don't know if I'd smash cut right. Anyway, the Kupu. Now I have the right shirt on. Let's bring this one down and see if I missed anything on the label that was important. I don't think so. 88 proof, 44%. Kihei, Maui. This is done at the main, well, there's only one brewery now, but they used to have, I think, the little one up in Kahana, and then they moved to Lahaina, which they got out of that one a few years ago, and moved a lot of that equipment to the main Kihei site. And they had all the statistics there, everything from the beer standpoint that they, from the brewery standpoint, because they do obviously move a lot of it over here to the mainland. But I don't know that I've seen the Kupu here. Yeah, I think you can order it. Anyway, so let's take a sniff of this and see how this tastes. Ooh. Right off the bat, I get a little spice. I got a little spice on the other one, but this one's kind of an odd spice. Weird. Very floral. Where's the floralness here? Herbal. I guess it's herbal. Going for a taste. I did not have any of this there. It was packed, which was good that the brewery is packed, but when you just want to do a couple tastes, it was a little bit of a challenge. So, and I knew I had this here. It's got a little more bite to it than the 12th Hawaii. It's got some back end flavor. I'll have to figure out what that is. Don't know the mash bill. They say blend of corn, rye, and malted barley. So how much rye and might be a high rye, might have a little bit because I did get some spice on it. We all know all the different baking spice and this spice and cardamom and blah, blah, blah. I don't know any of that stuff. Maybe I'll get a nosing kit for Christmas, Mom, Dad, if you're listening to this. Yeah, it's got a kind of an odd floral, herbal hint to it, which is fine. Whether it's because of the climate that it's I thought they had the years on it, but maybe not. Small batch. It doesn't say. I think it's a couple years. I think they only started in 2018, and when this bottle was out, it couldn't have been more than a couple years. And I would hope maybe they've got a couple barrels laying around for barrel strength for more than a couple years. I got a goober in there. I don't know what that is. I got a floater. See it? Huh, may have been in the glass. I don't know. Anyway, not bad. Not a lot of lingering aftertaste, but it doesn't stick around that long. It's got a little spice to it, but it's not overly, not a lot of ethanol either. So that's good. So this one's good too. A little bit different expression than the distiller cut, distiller reserve. All right, we'll put that one back. Just a second. And I'm back. So, again, my prodigious gut. Haliimaile. I won't have to put it up here because it's right here. Maui, Hawaii Distilling. So that's the Paniolo. They're much better about saying it than I am, that's for sure. So let me get this in my book. Now they did say the age on this one. This whiskey is at least 36 months old. I guess that is true. I can't speak to how old the blend part is from the 95% new make that they put in. This has some odd notes on the nose. I mean, it hit quick, and it must be the pineapple. Very fruity. And that's the other thing about, if I'd done these blind, this one probably would have stuck out pretty heavily. Price, 30. I think this was like 32 bucks for this bottle. 32, this is probably 45. This one was kind of expensive. I got the 3-pack and it was still quite a bit for a small one, but it's a pretty small operation too, so sorry about that. Yeah, you can definitely get the pineapple right in the noser. I got the pineapple on the nose. I'm trying to see if I'm getting it late on the palate. It is oddly smooth for a 3-year or a 0-year 95% blend, whatever the blend is. I find it interesting that it's this whiskey is at least 36 months old. Technically true. I don't think the new make, and that's got, the water's probably a million years old, but I don't think that the new make that has gone there is aged also, otherwise it would, well, I guess you'd have to go with the lowest, but I don't think it's aged. It can't be aged, it's right out of that jar, this big jar they had. Maybe I'll have a picture up here of the jar that they have all the distilled, the first distilling of the new make in. Go for another sip. And it's sweet. That's it. It is sweeter than normal. So, do I have, I should have, but it wouldn't be fair to Heaven Hill, it wouldn't be fair to use an Elisha Craig. What's mellow corn? It's just corn whiskey, so that, oh! Straight corn whiskey is mellow corn. That's probably not right. I thought I had an Evan Williams, excuse me, bottle of bond. No, maybe I don't. Shoot. Not typical. Oh, wait a second. I got another cabinet. All right. Evan Williams, single barrel, vintage, 86.6 proof. Have another sip of the penny oil. Leave that in here. So what we can do, put an oak in 2012, taken out in 20. So this might be an 8-year, which isn't really fair when this is a 3-year. Blended with pineapple new make. Let's do a little bit. This cork is not good. Back to more of a bourbon. And this is just right out of the bottle, so not opening up. Definitely get the oak on this. This, no oak. Better not take another drink of it. I wanted to do this. I was trying to find in my searching today a Heaven Hill. There is a Heaven Hill branded whiskey that is just Heaven Hill, not 17 or anything crazy like that, and not Elijah Craig and not some of the others. It says Heaven Hill right on it, but I couldn't find one. So I think they're hard to get. It seemed like on Fruit Bat or some crazy thing. It's like $100. I'm like, I don't pay $100 for an experiment. Like I haven't done that before. Yeah, so not bad. This is sweeter. This has more oak and more oak flavors. It's got more, it definitely has kind of more, I want to say chocolate on the back end, but kind of. So, not even saying it's the same mash bill or anything, just that it's 9-year-old Heaven Hill, 3-year-old Heaven Hill from this distillery that's been taken to this distillery and made into this guy with their pineapple new make. I'm calling it that. That may not be the exact right term, but I don't know what else to call it when it comes out of the mash through the still into the jar, and then they put it into this, mix it with the thing. So yeah. Yeah. So this is really, you can tell there was a color difference, but this definitely has the sweetness from the pineapple in it. But the pineapple, if it's there, it is not a punch in the face. I had the vodka, not a fan. The rum, I did bring home a bottle of the rum, big fan. It was good. Of course, they have a rule where they can only serve you like, you know what a Dixie cup looks like. Quarter a Dixie cup into it's like a little itty bitty cup thimble thing. And it's also, you don't get loaded and drive down the mountain, all steamed up. So I get it. But that is my lame review of 3 of the distilleries that you can go to on the Big Island and the 2 that are on Maui. I think there's another one, but they only do vodka. That's like the ocean one. I'll do that another time when I'm there. I highly recommend doing it. Support the local economy. You can bring back in your suitcase, take an extra one. I've been doing that lately. You can bring back like 5 or 6 bottles that you can buy at the distillery. And if you have a chance to find the 12th Hawaii distiller on the Big Island, it's in Kona. It's not in Hilo, and it's in like a business park. Maybe I'll put a picture or something up if I can find it. And it's interesting. I think it's very interesting to go and see how each of their techniques differ, yet the base is all the same as how they distill it and come up with their products. So again, this is Whiskey Edition. Hopefully you can like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends that there is another Whiskey Edition, sister, brother, cousin channel, where we just kind of go through what has been added to the pile that we'll get to one of these days. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. I do have an extra report in case somebody were to stop by on this late night. Don't think it's going to happen. Again, I appreciate it, and cheers, and have a very merry holiday season. Well, if you're still watching, I screwed up and I did not put the microphone on. It was just here on the table, so if I'm a little bit dimmer, and well, not only in what I'm saying, but also in my voice, or a little lower in volume, I'll try to crank it up a bit in post. I'm sorry about that, but I'm an amateur, what can I say? Cheers. Very sweet.